Okay, so this is gonna be the OMORI any percent glitch tutorial as of 8/29/2022. Uh, Main things before you get started on any kind of run is you want to make sure you're either playing on 1.0.4, 1.0.5, or 1.0.6. This is because a couple of glitches that are imperative to this run were patched out in 1.0.7. They don't matter as much. Well, actually, they do matter a lot for this run. One of them being target glitch, which will definitely be explained later down in the run. And another one is fast text, which doesn't come up often in this run anymore, but you do see it. So for the base setup, you want to make sure you have text skip on, as well as battle text as fast and character movement as dash, because, like, obviously. And then you can change your controls to whatever you want. I like to use the tag menu as C, but by default it's A. There's also a couple of mods you want to install, which you can find them on, I believe all of them are on the SRC page. You want to download Enable Mouse, Logic, Update Stability. Optionally, you can, well, you do want to use this. This is for live split. It allows you to remove in-game loads, and the one loader assistant is always there. Obviously, the debugger is not allowed. Like, don't use the debugger. Save and load is allowed too, but you don't need it. And you also want to install something called Turbo, which that is also a resource on the SRC guide. It presses Z 32 times a second, as you can see. Really fast. So let's just get right into it. Hope I'm not talking too fast. There are a few other ways to do this run, but I'm going to show the route that is currently used. It is also the most challenging one. There's a few tricks you don't have to do, but not doing them will lose, like, from a minute to, like, 8 minutes. In white space, it's a good way to practice your general movement, as well as getting used to when you get movement after text boxes. Because in text boxes, you can actually hold a direction to move, and even if you're holding turbo, it'll move without interacting with the thing again. What I like to do here is I like to use touchscreen movement, like touchscreen, to activate stuff. At least this first one. You have to close it, do this. You want to interact with everything in the white space in that particular order. It's just the fastest. And also it allows the knife to drop here. One thing I forgot to mention is we are allowed to have the mouse mod because you can replicate the touchscreen stuff with just an art tablet. And it's for accessibility that we let people use the mouse. Also, if you find that turbo doesn't work very well for you, you can hold down the mouse on the screen to advance text a bit faster, and I believe that doing this motion also makes it go a bit more consistent. So in this first room, you just want to grab the Aubrey's missing toy, give it to her. And while this cutscene's playing out, you want to hold up so you can talk to Hero immediately. And this movement's kind of weird. Just gotta kind of get used to it. If you've seen the old guide for this, a lot of the main old glitch was skill swapping Juice Me onto the party members, but it's not very useful anymore. Just gotta get through a lot of cutscenes here. Then we're gonna get into the playground movement. For the playground movement, even if you do the movement perfectly, like you do the least amount of tiles to move, sometimes you can get screwed over on getting Browse's cycle. He's the one that runs around the tree. You can get screwed over if Turbo is underperforming a bit, which sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. You can do it slightly less optimally and go one tile more left, and usually it'll work, but sometimes you just gotta take the L. So Basil's gonna try to give us a photo. We're gonna say no to that. Because pictures definitely are charming, but we don't care. So we gotta go talk to Burley here. Nobody's sure what the most optimal way, the optimum way to talk to her is, but I just do it from the side and go left here. You basically just want to do it the most, the way that is most comfortable to you. So we're going to get into the playground here, which I'm just going to show you what the optimal movement is, hopefully. Looks like we're going to have to do an extra tile here, unfortunately, but shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, like that. Going to Happy here first actually saves you a tile, I believe. Like 1 or 2 tiles. Which every tile of movement in this game is 1/10 of a second at running speed. And so Boss. Boss is a bit finicky. You need to do 135 or more damage before he gets to the angry phase. And after the angry phase, he gains 2 more HP. Just so he, if he's at 0 HP, they want him to live, so OMORI can attack him again. This part is completely RNG. You can, most of the time, you'll get 10 actions where 10 people, he has to be hit 10 times. But if you get lucky, you can only have 9. Which is the quick kill, which is about a 16% chance, but there is also further, an 8 actions possible, 7, and even 6 action, but 6 action is If you got it, you are probably cheating. It's not like impossible odds, but it's still like nobody should be getting it with the amount of people that play this game currently. And also, boss has a chance to just double punch you or punch, which is slower than him just doing nothing. So we'll see what we get. So damage rolls in this game are... Yes, it is 1.7. Damage rolls in this game are your actor's attack times 2 minus the enemy's defense. Plus or minus 20%. Which is why we have a ton of RNG. And then furthermore, you can get crits. And crits do 1.5 times the damage plus 2. And that's applied before variance. Like, the variance is after the crit is determined. Also, I don't know what action boss there I got. I wasn't paying attention. It looks like it was a 10 action, though. Another thing to note is that this game tends to lag a lot if your computer isn't that great, which is why we have the load remover and the logic update stability stuff. It isn't perfect, but it's the best solution we currently have for allowing runners to play on a more even ground. So now we're just going to go down here. It's faster to talk to this mailbox first instead of just going down. And now we're going to do some movement to fight the moles. It should be noted that movement in RPG Maker is very finicky. If you want to change your direction, it's best to let go of the key you already were and then hit another one. And for these moles, it's also RNG. The best you can get for this is a 2 action, but most of the time we're looking for a 3 action, which we're going to get. If you're unlucky, you can get a 4 action, and sometimes this mole gets to attack. I don't know why, and that also loses like 2.5 seconds. For this happy mole, you're looking for a 4 action, but most of the time you will get a like 2 turn on this. Looks like we got a 4 action. It's good. We want to close this. Oh, fudge. Indeed there is. There is a Neko one-shot. So, for this, emotions don't really matter in this category, but you do want to annoy this enemy so he has less defense, or else you're just, like, not going to be able to kill him. So there we go. And now here's our first major glitch. Like an actual glitch. What we do is we activate this cutscene with this, and then we hold X, and then once we go down here, it'll just completely skip the whole cutscene. And we can just go straight to Ye Olde Sprout. And on Ye Olde Sprout, you don't want to attack at all. You just want to guard the whole time until you have enough energy to release. There's about an 8% chance that you don't get enough in 2 turns. I recommend practicing this a little bit because it is kind of finicky to get into a rhythm to guard fast. Most of the early game of this doesn't have anything major, it's just movement and general stuff like that. See, that, like, if you don't have emotion, you'll get tripped up like that. Looks like we might get a good... Hopefully he doesn't miss twice. Because if he does, that's bad. Okay, we're good. This is where you're gonna first see that fast text. Oh, I didn't actually know that. More cutscenes, just gotta mash through them. This game has a lot of cutscenes. Ash. Ash, I'm making a video, Ash. That shouldn't appear on the chat, though. I don't think that does. Yep, it doesn't. Get owned, Ash. Ash is trying to sabotage my tutorial by putting the chat in emo-only mode. Little does he know, I changed this chat to stream elements. No! Pain. Ash, can we time out this chatter for spamming? Also, these pictures are random. This is the order. The fastest is obviously if you get the basil flower in the first slot. Also, it should be noted that to get this run to run super optimally, you want to have as much stuff closed as possible. My chat is wild. So in terms of what a good time for prologue is, I'd say anywhere below 1620 it's alright. Streamer mod abuse? Oh, I need to not split, actually. Well, that would be the issue, Average. You gotta pay attention. Okay. So for Sunny's name, you just want to quickly tap up left or left up, and then you should just get through it while holding the spacebar. So I'm going to name myself Sunaz. See? Here we go. The best name, objectively, is Sunna, by the way. So if you get Sana, your run is blessed. Gotta interact with the phone here. Absolutely have to. You just can't for some reason. Can't not do this. My chat is spouting falsehoods. Head back up to the bed, sleep. And then coming up, we're gonna have the first example of touchscreen movement saving time. What we're about to do is we are going to walk up into the hand as it appears, and doing so will save about 9.8 seconds, which is cool. That sounds like a frame perfect skill issue, dude. Also, alerts are off today. Forgot to mention that. So you want to keep holding down until the hand appears. Then you're going to hold up. And you will get touched by this faster. And for this fight, you're just going to turbo until you get calmed down. Z down, Z should be the inputs you need to do for this. Yeah, right here is when you get calmed down. Oh, I was wrong. It's Z down ZZ, yeah. That's the fastest way. Also, you kind of want to time a left input here. I just count 1 in my head, and then it just works. And for this, I count 2 in my head. I couldn't explain exactly how it works, it's just I have some kind of mental timing for changing directions in these rooms. Yeah, or you could do that. So here we're going to eat a steak and get sick. Honestly, it's just a skill issue from Sony. Like, your mom literally told you the electricity was out, so why are you trying to use the microwave? Yes, this VOD will be on YouTube. Which is why I'm trying not to chat as much, but I started chatting anyway. Because Potato and Ash are in my chat. Yeah, get in your high YouTubes. $21.20? Bro. So I can tell I'm, like, lagging. Which, I'm not sure why, but it might be because I have... I don't know. It might be a Stream Elements thing, but, like, nope. Me too. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, do that. Gotta interact with the thing here. And then hold down here. Sometimes you will get 3 tiles of movement down, or you'll get none. Like I did there. Same with this map. You have to come get this map. It's right down here. And then you can leave the room. Yes, you can do that. Look, there it is. There it is. when you see it. Everyone is getting some free shoutouts in my chat. Also, the keys are required still, currently. So here we gotta go see, I don't know, there's a shoe house down here. We're supposed to go see if somebody's there. I don't know what's happening. Who's Brazil? I don't know who Brazil is. Getting good at movement in this game is really just a practice kind of thing. Because movement is pretty fast in this game. Oh, I know why it seems like I'm so far behind. It's because in-game time isn't being removed because I'm not prepared. I'm not comparing against in-game time. L. So don't do what I did. Make sure your live split is set to in-game time instead of real time, because I'm a bozo. You know what? I can just, there we go. I mean, this isn't a speed run anyway. I'm just showing. Oh, running without holding shift is, I said this at the beginning, but there is options in the main menu you want to turn on before starting a run. And one of them is auto run. Because who wants to hold shift the whole time? So in Vast Forest, there's a few items we're going to get. We want to get a Jax, we want to get a Life Jam, and we want to get a Sparkler. 2 of those items you sell, and one of them we're saving for a couple of enemies later, just to make them go by faster. Yes, it does make me go slow if I hold shift now. So don't accidentally click shift, or else you're gonna walk. I could actually show that off. I've personally never found any use of going slower. Like, holding shift does make you go slower, though. So here's the Jax. This bunny can go wherever he wants. Here's this Life Jam, and here is this Sparkler. You want to get the Sparkler first, it's a bit faster. And for that bunny, if he's in your way, you want to bait him. But if you get an encounter, you can just run away. With encounters, it is... To be more complicated, it is... The chance of running away is 0.65 times the party's average speed divided by the enemy's average speed, I believe. Or is it... I think it's the... I think? Yeah, that sounds right. And then if you fail to run, the next time you try to run will be 10% more likely. Also, for this enemy, if he's up a bit, you can go just down there, or you have to go 2 tiles down. Now, for this guy, he's a bit of a troll. The setup Potato does is he does this, but you can also do something like this that is almost 100% consistent to get past him. Let me just set it up. Like, this way to do it is 100% consistent if you do the inputs correctly. I didn't do the inputs correctly. Skill issue. Please. Hello? This is some of the RNG of all time. Let me actually do this. It's not too hard to do this once you get a feel for it. Like, no matter where that bunny is, that will work. So here's this dandelion we need. And then we're just gonna bait this guy to not be in our way. And we're going to head over to Mario. The most optimal place to walk up here is right here. This is the furthest you can be from Mari to start this cutscene. If you are a bit further to the right, then your party members will start walking towards her. So this is the best spot to go. So now we gotta head over to Otherworld. As I said, the game is pretty linear for the first part. First, like, 40 minutes or so. Oh, I actually forgot to mention, if you don't get a tofu from the first 3 enemies, you will want to pick up an apple juice in Vast Forest. That apple juice is just to the left of the bunny. It's just because if you don't have a tofu, you will come up literally 1 clam short of how much you need. Because we need exactly 100 clams after download window. Or at least 100. And if you don't have a tofu, you will only have 99. Might edit the video to add that earlier. Because that's kind of important and I don't want people to skim over that. I could just repeat myself later. Oh, no, that says you also need to do that in this new route. You have to buy one from the second mailbox during the Firefly stuff. There is other ways to do this route. I'm just doing the tutorial for the route World Record uses. Or currently uses. So here we are in Otherworld. Well, it's a good thing you're here then, Potato. I am explaining everything. Yes, it is. Which I will explain in about 10 minutes. So first, come up here, talk to this guy. You want to sell 1 tofu, or the apple juice if you didn't get a tofu, and then you want to sell all of these. Don't sell the jacks, you want to keep it. Then you are going to buy 8 rubber bands. These rubber bands will be used for download window, so we can beat it in just 3 turns before it kills us. Also, I believe it's a bit faster to talk to this guy. Like, you go 1 tile below him and to the right, and then you go up, and you talk to him from here. For getting up here, you can just tile movement up. And then here's another cutscene. We gotta talk to this guy. You can talk to him from the bed. Well, now you will learn it. That's what I'm doing right here. after this, we're going to head to Junkyard, and in Junkyard is where we get the first major thing that breaks this game open and why it's a good speedrun. Yeah, I mean, this route was just made, like, a day or two ago. It only really changes, like, what picnic you use for a certain trick. So in Junkyard, well, I'll just explain it once we get in to here. So in Junkyard, there are 4 rubber bands you want to pick up, so that you have 12 per download window. Download window has exactly 600 HP. And the first of these rubber bands is right up here. So you're just going to grab this, and then you're going to head to the right. It should be mentioned, it should be noted that the boombox here can be in a random spot. So sometimes you'll have to bait him away from you, because he could just be right in your way. We'll see what we get. So this is fine, we can just go up here. And this setup allows you to quickly tag into OMORI without like having to worry about accidentally turboing the box again. And so now we have the tag menu. And the tag menu is very broken. Also, here's a little bit of tech. You can start the animation for breaking something with somebody, and then you can tag somebody else. It saves a little bit of time. But more importantly is, normally you have to talk to this guy with Hero, and he will change the direction of these conveyors. But luckily, we have something called tag stepping. And what tag stepping allows you to do is, any event that is on the ground that is triggered by you touching it can be completely skipped over. So the fastest way to go through this room is to tag step over these conveyors. Oops. Okay. And then you just want to make your way down to the key. Same with this one, you can tag step over it. I don't know why I'm not playing that well today. Help. Excuse me. The window for getting a tag step is, I believe, 1 or 2 frames. It's probably closer to 2. But it's kind of finicky because you want to press the buttons a little bit different timing, but at the same time doesn't always work. Also, yes, I will be uploading this YouTube. It is not faster to tag step this back. It's faster to just go over it. And then we're going to go up here. So, right here, it should be noted that if, normally there's a picture here, it should be noted that if it's not here, you are guaranteed to get something later in the run that will save you a few seconds. And I will make sure to explain that once we get to it. Just keep that in mind. So for this movement, you just want to go around this guy. Don't stay on that ladder. He can get you through the ladder. And this guy can be really trolly. He can just completely be in your way, and to get him out of your way, you want to just, like, say he was right here. You want to go up this ladder and wait for him to move back, and then go down and around. So, right here, don't try to tag Kel here. Because this cutscene up here just changes your party back to OMORI. So here's this little funny thing you can do. You can tag step into this cutscene, and on the second text box, you can let go and just tag Kel. Now the thing is, this only saves 0.3 of a second. So if you don't get it the first try, you are losing time. So you want to tag OMORI here, so just at the bottom of this ladder is a good place to do it. And then you want to head up here. Here you want to tag Hero. while cutting the cone at the same time. Get that rubber band. Then we're gonna head up here and do this. Easy, free. You're gonna get this rubber band, and then you are going to get this Jax. And that's pretty much almost it for all the items we need to pick up in Chunkyard. There's one more. And that is this, the last rubber band. And then because we have Hero, we don't have to tag him, we can just start this cutscene. Also, yes, I did see the OMORI plush. It is very small. So, important things to note about Rosa. You can actually soft lock during Rosa if you go too fast. You do not want to go too fast, because if you do, you will not have a very good time. So you kind of want to do this in a particular way so that you don't soft lock. You want to just stand here and wait for Rosa to appear, and then you follow her. Then the trigger for to get her to move again, the trigger's just right here, like right to the left of this spinny thingy. And so you want to touch that and then go up. Wait for her to go up a bit, because if you don't, she'll slap you and lose like half a second. And then we're just gonna make our way down here. There is a tag step right here to avoid a falling Brit. It is right there. So right there. It's one tile big. And we can just head down a downward window. I will get to that, for sure. There is a few other soft locks. So right here we have downward window. The Jax will be on the right of the item menu, right here. And you just want to do that. And then for the rest of the fight, you can just hold turbo and you'll win. There we go, down the window. Gonna make our way back to where we need to go. Keep in mind that if this enemy down here moves right, you also have to move right or he will hit you. So there's a trigger here, right? It starts the Pluto cutscene. You can skip it. It used to save 2.5 minutes in an older version of the route. However, it is way more useful to actually unlock the Pluto stations because there's a little something we can do. Using some overlapping of cutscenes, we can have the Pluto station take us anywhere in the game from the beginning of unlocking it. And to do so, we need to make use of the fact that you can actually move during picnic cutscenes, which was recently discovered when the Switch version of the game released. And we found out you could do it on PC through art tablets. And so now we allow the mouse mod, as I mentioned. So that's what we're going to be using to allow ourselves to move during the picnic cutscenes. But we do need to mention that the picnic cutscene will be playing while you're doing this. So you have a limited amount of time to actually get to the Pluto station, because that's where you need to go. And you also need to press the Z button before, like during the picnic cutscene, before you're able to move. So I will show you, like the first part of this, I'll show you how to do it, the way I do it, and then I'll explain how it works and what not to do, and what it looks like when you might mess up. And it also is like, you just want to tinker with it a bit. You want to find what works best for you personally. Because what I'm about to do is what works best for me, but it's not necessarily what will be good for you. So, we do want to have 100 clams here. We do. And that'll be important during the second part of this. Let me go ahead and save. And I'll show you how to do the first part of this. We're going to... Well, I'm not going to explain it. I'm just going to show you how it's done first. So there's the first part of it. So I will just explain what happened there. So what I did first is I was holding turbo so I could get up to here, and I cleared the Kel text box. So you don't need to clear it, but I did. And then you want to stop holding turbo, and you want to spam X to exit the inventory, because you don't want to buy anything. You can, but you don't want to. Then you're going to either hold turbo after closing the shop menu, or hold Z, which is safer. And then you want to make your way down here. This is my spot where I set it up, because you have to have a specific timing when you get to the Pluto station. You want to get to the Pluto station while a text box is going to appear, because if you don't, you'll just get this text and it won't work. The reason it won't work is what we are actually doing is we're taking a text box up to here, which if there's another text box playing, the text box here where this guy tries to ask you if you want to buy, sell, or leave, it gets interrupted. And because it gets interrupted, we actually store these choicers right here. And we want to take those choicers into the actual Pluto soaring menu, which will allow us to go anywhere. But to do that, we need to also overlap this text box, which will additionally give us yes and no, but those aren't useful for what we're trying to do. Because buy, if you, like, let me show you. Let me just show you. If you click buy, and again, you can make up your own setup. My setup is waiting for this text box, and then waiting a short bit after it closes to start heading up here. And as you can see, I did it that was too late. And so I won't have the choicers in the menu, unfortunately. Gonna try that again, just so I can show you the getting it into the thing. Move. Hello? I don't know what happened there. I must have pressed Z and opened the mailbox again on accident, which you do not want to do that. That might have been too late again. Okay, that's good. So we made it up here. And because we stored both choices, we're going to have them in the actual menu, which will allow us to go wherever we want. So, buy will be Firefly Forest, sell will be Deep Well, leave is Snow Globe Mountain, yes is just Otherworld, and no is Orange Oasis. So, the ones that are actually useful for any person is buy and sell. Because buy allows us to skip all of Firefly Forest, which saves maybe half a minute, I believe. And sell will save... Well, actually you want to do buy. You actually want to. For sure, you want to do buy. Because this will save a lot of time. And sell allows us to go to Deep Well, which Deep Well is the biggest reason why this wrong warping stuff is so important. And that will be explained in a little bit. So let me show some, like, doing this wrong. Let me show you what happens if you try to do this way too fast. Like, you try to get up to the Pluto station as absolutely fast as you can. This will happen. You will get to the Pluto station before Hero's text box has a chance to appear. So you want to fiddle around with this and find the setup that best works for you for getting to the Pluto station while, like, so that Hero's text box can appear during it. And then let me show you me doing it without turbo, because you can do this. Yeah, this is not gonna work. Yeah, way too late. So yeah, turbo. For me, turbo works the best for doing these wrong warps. So it's recommended that if you're beginning out with this trick to save and make sure you can redo it whenever. So now I want to explain the second part of this, which is the Firefly part of it. Which, the Firefly part of it is a bit more tricky on this route. You have to do it a particular way, or you won't be able to do something later in the run that saves a minute. So if you don't want to do it this way, you can just forego doing something called Medusa Skip later in the run. So you want to hold turbo until it gets rid of Pluto's text box, because if you do not, Pluto's text box will get rid of some of the text box right here. It, like, interrupts them. So you want to close this text box, like, not immediately, but once Pluto's off screen, and then you want to get down to here, and keep this text box open while this cutscene is playing. And there is a certain visual cue and timing you can do to end this as soon as possible. Which mine is just waiting for Marty to disappear and saying 1 Mississippi really slowly, 1 Mississippi. And then you just want to hold turbo and you want to get up to this, which I didn't. So this is not going to work. So 100 clams for these nachos. And doing this allows you to get an extra text box, but I messed up the movement here, so I won't be able to... Basically, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get to the Pluto station with a stored text box while making sure we don't actually end the picnic cutscene. Because the end, like this picnic cutscene, no matter what you do, it's gonna end. Like once you come back to this room, the cutscene will already be over and you can't do it again. We want to make sure the Firefly one stays available for later in the run. Or alternatively, if you don't want to do the Medusa skip, you can just not worry about it. Definitely makes it easier, but you will be losing a 1 minute time save. So let's actually try to do this again. It is this, like, the second part of this is definitely more finicky than the first part, but it's more objective than subjective, if that makes sense. Like, it's more like, it's more concrete on what you need to do than the other one. This is one of the hardest tricks in the run, though. 1 Mississippi? That was a bit slow. Okay, so we're going to keep that text box open and buy Nacho, then close it. And on this text box, the best way to do this is to click Z and then right after click on this tile right here. Which I messed it up somehow. I think I did it at the same time instead of right after. So we're going to have to restart on that. You want to get onto the Pluto station with Arby's text box, which will overlap it. But you don't want to close that text box immediately as soon as you get on. You want to keep it open a little bit. Which, there's several ways to keep it open a little bit longer. I don't know if this will work. Okay, it did. We're gonna go to Firefly, as I've done for like the third time. You know? I'm gonna try to get this. Once you get like the timing down, it shouldn't be too hard to do. But I really just want to explain what you do once you get up to the Pluto station, because the trick isn't over. You need to do it a particular way. 1 Mississippi. So you want to hold Z. For the RB text box, I just hold Z into it, because for me that's the most consistent way to get to the Pluto station without closing the text box too fast. Because if you close it too fast, you're gonna get the Pluto text box coming up, and you won't be able to do the rest of this. For Mari, even if you hold Z, it'll be too fast before it makes sure that this cutscene has time to progress. You basically want to wait like a full second on this, just to be safe, and then close it. And for this, the audio cue is once, like right there. And so that, we have just, like, that is one text box perfect for us to make sure that the picnic cutscene there is still around while still getting up to here. Keep in mind that if you don't get that, it's fine. You will just have to do a slightly different route, which I will also explain when it's imperative. So what we're going to do here is we're going to click Sell, and we are going to go to Deep Well, which is the most important part. Like, this is one of the biggest time saves in the run. We're going to head over here. So currently, I forgot to explain what this is. This is Picnic State. We've been in it for the whole time. And what Picnic State does is, it makes any picnic cutscene you are, like, if there's a picnic in a certain room, it'll start playing the cutscene. Or if there's, like, stuff where the party is eating food and stuff, you'll see that the actors are there. Like, for example, over here, in this place right here, you can see that the party is there, but we haven't actually touched this event. And that's important in one spot in this run, because we have to do something a certain way, or we will self-lock. So we're gonna head over here. You want to, so this cutscene, yeah. This cutscene is actually important because because this cutscene plays without us actually coming out of this room where the M key is, if we don't go into this room at some point during the run, our screen is going to be completely white. You have a few chances to go into this room. Also, just click on this to open it. There are several chances to go in this room. There's right now. There's after we come back from Last Resort. There is after... Well, I think that's almost it. And after Humphrey. If you feel like you're going to forget, it's best to just do it immediately. I personally do it after Humphrey, but you can just do it whenever you want. Because for me, doing it after Humphrey is the easiest because this touchpad movement is very weird. So for now, we're just going to go to Last Resort. And keep in mind, there is a picnic cutscene in here, so we want to get up to the location as fast as possible. And we're going to keep a text box open here to interrupt this cutscene so that it goes faster and it doesn't mess with how many text boxes we have. Very important. If you end the picnic cutscene in this room right now, you are going to soft lock. This is because in picnic state, it will, like, every cooler has an ID. And if your cooler's ID is the same as in a, cooler, like the cooler picnic cutscene, it takes the ID of what the cooler is so that it can tie back to it later at the end of the cutscene, and it puts you 3 tiles under that event. So, for example, we took the Otherworld Picnic here. We currently have the Otherworld Picnic's picnic ID. So after this cutscene ends, it's going to set us to the wrong place, which it sets us to the event in this room that has the same ID as the one in Otherworld. And it just so happens that 3 tiles under that event is in a wall. So we don't want to do that. Also, the timing for ending this cutscene is just when the camera stops moving. So this, and then hold this, and we're going to spam up. We're just going to keep spamming up to here until we get to here. We're just going to let this cutscene play out right here. And we're going to make our way into Last Resort. If you get into Last Resort while text box is playing, you don't have to exit the room again. But if the room is dark in Last Resort, just exit and then re-enter. So here's my timing for this. 1 Mississippi, once the audio ends. And we're going to head up into here. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Important to note that if you end the picnic, if you see Kel's text box that says boring next at any time in the run, your run's over. You're going to soft lock later. So we're going to head up here. This is the NPC I was talking about earlier. So you remember the photo in Junkyard that wasn't there? If that's not there, you are guaranteed to get 2,000 clams from this. If it is there, you can still get it, but it's not guaranteed. Either way, we need the money from this NPC, so we're just going to talk to her. Even if you get 100, which is the lowest amount, you need it. So we're going to buy 21 rotten milk. And there's a glitch in this game called Target Glitch, which we will get to later, but we need those rotten milks. So while we're here, we're going to go ahead and grab the P key, which this room locks the tag menu. So even if you tag step those cutscenes outside, you won't be able to tag step on them on the way out. So we're just gonna go back the way we came. There is a little audio cue you can do here for cleaning this text box. It is a little bit after the whoosh sound is gone. So right here, the screen will be black. If you're playing in 1x mode, if you click anywhere just slightly right to the eye in OMORI, you will get to the Pluto station. But if you're playing in 2x2 mode, it's probably just worth it to exit and then go back, and then your screen will not be black. Our screen is black because the game is in a state where it thinks we should not be in deep oil, but we are anyway. Oh, x1x mode is the screen resolution. I'm not playing full screen, basically. So we're going to go back to Otherworld. And you're going to see that because this picnic ended, it's going to want us to end it here. And this gets us out of picnic state. But, yeah. And so, the reason that if you end the Last Resort cutscene on, like, even if you end it accidentally on driving back to Deep Well, it will still soft lock you later because the cutscene is still ended. It's just waiting for you to click Z. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good visual cue. Okay, so yeah, what Potato said. If that works, that works. x1x mode, it's just what feels better for you, but x1x mode is less, like, resource intensive if you don't have a good PC. So now that we have Rotten Milk, we're going to go up to him, and if you've already done, like, it's important to note that you want to run through this game before you start speedrun, because if you do, you can skip certain boss cutscenes like this one. Okay. So here's the first... This is one of the first glitches that was ever discovered for this game. And it's called Target Glitch. If you use a skill that can either be used on the party or an enemy, you can do this, back out of it, and then use a different item on the enemy. So nachos are normally only you're only able to give this to party members. But because we did this, we can use it on enemies. This was patched out in, I believe, 1.047, and because of Rotten Milk is a joke item. It does 50% of your max HP and heals 10 juice. And as you can see, we can just use it on an enemy, and 2 Rotten Milks will kill Space Boyfriend. The safe strat here is to have Aubrey, Omori, and Kel do it, just in case he decides to kill Kel, but I don't do that because it's not that big. Okay, so let me show you what this looks like done fast. And there's a little bit of RNG in what move he uses, but it doesn't lose that much time. And there we go. He's dead. Yeah, not in any percent. There's no boss like that. Oh, not even Perfect Heart. If you use Observe, she goes down in 1 turn. Yeah, Perfect Heart is easy. You just get Abby's eye and you can just kill her. Anyways, cutscene. Because this game has a lot of cutscenes. So after Space Boyfriend would be about the 1/3 mark of the run, and everything after this picks up really fast. Like the first, 1/3 of the run is really slow in the beginning and then really hard trip, and then you are chill for a little bit. But it doesn't, you have you get an 11-minute break, and then you are back into very hard stuff. We never use a train ticket, by the way. We don't go to Orange Oasis, and we also don't need a snow cone. Really, you don't need any healing items for this. They're just safety at a certain point. So, under this pillow is going to be the E key. We need this to open up Black Space. We still haven't discovered a Black Space skip. Yeah, honestly, sweeping the dish, after sweeping and before dishes, the run's really good. The first 40 minutes, the first 30 minutes of the run is boring, and the first 30 minutes of the run is also boring. So here's another tag step, a one wide tile cutscene. If you miss it, it's about 10 seconds. So we just tag step past it. You can also tag step this cutscene, but I don't recommend it if you're a beginner. But if you can do it, just go for it, because it saves 2 seconds. If you get it fast. So right there, I missed 2 tag steps, so it probably only saved like a second and a half. And for this room, you can just use this movement. It frame perfectly turns around, so you don't have to like agonize over getting good at turning corners in this room. You can just do this. You can also do this on the Switch version. It's just harder to do it precisely. Just gotta go up to the barn. And get the only key that doesn't open up blank space that is required. Also, unfortunately, we have gotten pretty close to skipping the chores, but like you can get all the keys for black space, but you have to do the chores still because the game's softbox for some reasons. All right, good night, average. Okay, going up here saves like 0.1 seconds, and then we're just gonna stab so we can wake ourselves up. Don't mind the auto splitter. Just a cutscene. Sweeping is probably one of those, like, really niche things to get good at, because at a certain point you really can't save any more than, like, a second. But it is good to just get good at it once, and then you don't have to practice it again, as long as you have a feel for it. It is to be noted that arrow key movement takes precedence over turbo. So when you are over a spot, you have to let go of a movement before the game will let you sweep up something. Yeah, it honestly is. It's like, it sounds like the most easiest part of anything, but it's actually pretty hard to be good at. Also, don't say yes to Kel, because this is not secret ending. This is any percent. Yeah. Getting a really good sweeping segment comes down to mastery of movement in this system. And even then, if you're not focused on the inputs you're doing, you will mess up. My input viewer should speak for itself on how to really do this, but I could explain it a bit more. No, there's really not much to explain. It kind of just speaks for itself. Yeah, see? It also comes down to memorizing when, like, using audio cues and muscle memory to remember when you can start moving again. Yes, however, that's... I would argue that's even harder to do optimally. Because then you have to time each press with when you get to start moving again, or when you spam it, you're going to go to the wrong place. There's also different routes you can take for sweeping, though all of them are probably the same speed. Like, actually. You could probably only get a tile or two quicker if there was an optimal route. Yeah, mouse movement doesn't work in the... I'm pretty sure that you stop moving with the mouse if there's an event under you. Like, if there's an event in the game, like game's code that exists there, like, it doesn't have to be active, just that if it's there, it stops your movement. It can be an event that does absolutely nothing, and it's still just like, nope, you can't move. So once we're done with sweeping, we just have to get into the fear of spiders segment. Which, believe it or not, there is more to this than simply walking up. You gotta press interact with this thing so it goes away. And here is how I make sure I don't get hit by these spider legs, because you can avoid them. I've memorized that once I hear this, like, once I pass this on the right, the first thing on the left will have the spider leg, so I stop before it. Same up here, the second one on the right. And then I count 1, 2, 3 spiders stepped on, and it's the one on the left, and then we're done. And not getting hit by those, if you get hit by all of them, you're losing 16 seconds. If you get hit by none of them, you aren't losing 16 seconds. Water. Yeah. So for this fight, you're gonna just turbo for the first few turns. You don't even have to count, you just have to keep in mind where you are. Like, one attack after this text box. Attack, and then this is where you're going to calm down. And that sets you up perfectly to get focus on this turn, and you can use it. Take this. Getting good at menuing is really just a practice thing. Can't really tell you what the best way to do it is. It's just, you gotta practice. Don't step on this, because if you step on this, you sit there for a second. Yeah, you can, but that's just my setup for it. Also, the auto splitter doesn't split here because it's cool. Cool auto splitter. So from here is where the run gets real. Like, you just did a really hard trick 11 minutes ago, and now you are not getting a break. Like, you had 11 minutes. Yeah. Honestly, this route was really challenging. And like, yeah, most of the tricks in it are make or break for getting a top level time, besides Medusa Skip. If you are going for like a 2-1x, you don't have to have Medusa Skip. But if you want to go for the best time you can possibly get, you want Medusa Skip. So this movement back to the door is sort of feels type of thing. You just gotta hold up, and then left, and then up on the door. Sometimes I miss the door completely, you know? Honestly, I know it doesn't look like I'm playing very well, but that's just because I'm not focused on getting a good run right now. I'm just focused on showcasing stuff. And I'm also, like, using most of my brain power to speak about what I'm actually doing instead of focusing. So we're gonna go up here. You can skip the snake, but we actually need the money in this category. Like, yeah. And we will soon be, like, I will soon tell why getting 2,000 clams is really good. As opposed to getting 100, 500, or 1,000. Chance of getting 2,000 is 3 in 13. Also, we have to fight these sprout moles. It is one of the dumbest things in this category, in my opinion. I really wish you didn't have to fight these sprout moles, but we do. And that is why we got the jacks in Vast Forest, and also why we got the jacks in Junkyard, because we are going to use them on this fight to make it 100% consistent instead of RNG. Technically, if you got perfect RNG, you would be able to do this 5 seconds faster, but that is so unlikely that it's just not worth it. The menuing here is as follows. You're going to use a Jax with OMORI, a Jax with Aubrey, and you're going to use Rebound with Kel. And it doesn't matter what hero does, you can just attack with him. And also to note, so our menu is selected on Rotten Milk right now, because this game has menu remembrance. However, if you open the toys menu, your snacks, like if you open the toys menu and use a toy, your snacks will default to the first item. So these guys will die no matter what. Literally, if you even rolled the lowest damage possible, they would still die. Because Kel would have to roll an 11 damage, which she can't. And you're also hoping for a tofu here, but we didn't get one. If you get a tofu, you can forego getting a tofu later in Sweetheart's Castle. So, normally you would go left, right? But we went to Firefly Forest early. So what you're probably thinking is, oh, let's go do all of Firefly, yeah, let's go to Firefly, let's just go to Firefly. Kel cannot miss. Your hit rate is 100, you cannot miss. We're gonna go to Firefly Forest. And if you did the earlier wrong warps correctly, this cutscene should not be over. And you can tell it's not over if you just move. Yeah, we did it correctly. So let's go up here. We want to make sure we tag set the Keen Crawler trigger, which is right here. It extends like to the left of these. You just want to tag set test it. You can go up here. There he is. And we're going in here. By the way, you have to go here first. There is no getting around it. You have to. For reasons that are a bit complicated, like earlier... Oh, by the way, this is a tag step right here. If you miss it, it's about 18 seconds, but there's just one tile under that guy. The reason we come here first, right off the gate, is the same reason I explained earlier during the Deep Well segment. The Picnic State, we're going to come back here later in Picnic State, and if we don't do this light stuff first, we can't actually get back to the light switch, because the cutscene where everyone's running on the treadmill will be active, and it will block our way from getting over there, which is super unfortunate, because it causes some backtracking, but what can you do? When a game is programmed to not break, it tries its best not to be broken, which is the story of OMORI. Whoa, story of OMORI. Don't be mean to Potato. No. I guess you could say Potato fell from the light. Difficulty of tag steps, it's not confirmed, but for me, it's proportional to what keyboard I'm using. And the best keyboard for me is a chiclet keyboard, which is basically a laptop type keyboard. I missed a tag step. This one loses 8 seconds if you miss it. It's just one tile right here. You want to go ahead and flip these on. You don't need to heal, by the way. You're already at full HP at this point. Gonna tag step this again. And normally, you would think we would go ahead and head to Sweetheart's castle. However, we are not gonna do that. We're just gonna leave. Right here, we're just gonna leave. Make sure to tag step King Crawler again. And so here's the reason we wanted to keep this picnic here. So this is going to be a trick that will save us an entire minute. Because we're not doing Sweetheart, we're going straight to Humphrey first. It is faster to do it. And we are going to take this picnic with us. Because if you remember, I explained that taking a different picnic ID to another picnic will set you in the wrong spot. It'll set you 3 tiles below a event of the same ID in that room as the picnic you brought over. And bringing this one to Medusa will allow us to completely get out of bounds and skip the first part of it, which will save an entire minute. But if you don't want to do that, don't worry about it. There is a slightly different route you can do that has like stuff going in different places, but it's a bit different. It's too different from this one to explain how to do it. You'll just want to not get this picnic, I suppose. Like, if this is your first time hearing about this game, I recommend looking at the 21223 run on my YouTube, or the 215 run on Potato's YouTube. But other than that, let's get started with this. We're going to start this, and we're going to go up here as quickly as possible. And this time, we actually want to end this picnic cutscene, so we're just going to hold turbo the whole time. And it doesn't matter if you, like, stored a thing. Doesn't matter. Yeah. You have just enough time to end this, by the way. We want to go to Deep Well. And now here's why this is very painful. Because now we have to do touchscreen tag steps. Yeah, touchscreen tag steps. The worst thing ever. They are very hard. And we want to make our way to Humphrey. You can skip this. Like so. You can skip this cutscene. If you miss it, it's a 50-second time loss, but that's okay. So, if you got 2,000 clams, right? You can talk to this guy's hero, and you will spin the wheel once, and then you'll say no. And doing that, you will have enough money to get past all these gators. On the second one, you just turbo through it. On the third one, you're going to say no and then accept it while being hero, and you can just go forward. If you didn't get 2,000 clams, what you want to do is on this first one, you're going to talk to him with hero and say no, and then he'll offer you a better deal, which is 500 clams. And then on this guy, you're going to tag OMORI, or it doesn't matter if it's OMORI, anybody, and you're going to talk to him. Normally, if you don't have 2,000 clams, which you wouldn't have 2,000 clams, he will give you 2,000 clams. And then you can just tag hero and talk to him again, and he'll give you a discount. So let me show you how to do it if you did get 2,000 clams. Oops, I'm facing the wrong way. Shut up, dude. You're gonna spin once. Don't spin again, or you will have a bad time. So he will give us a discount. And then we're gonna go over here. And this guy will also charge us less since we spun the wheel. And it'll be enough. It'll always be enough that we will have the right amount of money to get past all these gators. So if you get 2,000 clams, it's a big chunk of time save. If you don't, it's okay. It's like not a super big amount of time. It's like over 10 seconds. And yeah, it's just a nice time save if you get 2,000 clams. So we need to get this key, the S key. We need to tag him OMORI. And then we have another thing we can do in this room, because there is a picnic in here, and we don't want it to end or we will lose our picnic state that we are taking to Medusa. So you can either do this the safe route, which is just like so. This is the easiest way to do this. But it is slower. Like that, like so. Or you could do it this way. You could do it in, you could get up there in one trick. Which, the way I do it, is I hold this, the thing here, because it will advance text, and I let go while text is advancing until it's at the end of it, and then I click Z and time a press, which will give me the earliest possible movement. And if you do that good enough, you can get up to the thing fast. So this probably won't work. As you can see, it was one tile too short, because I messed up a little bit on one of Mari's text boxes. So we can try this again, since I'm cheating. But if that happened to you on a run, you wouldn't be able to do Medusa Skip anymore. Which isn't a run ender unless you have gotten it in another run and are going for better attempts. So that time I got here. And now we're going to make our way up here. There is going to be another tag step we need to do. It's the last text that you have to do in this state. So this is also like 50 seconds if you miss it. And now we're going to make our way through Deeper Well. Or the Trench, I think it's called. Yeah, you can't... In Picnic State, if it wasn't already obvious, you can't move with the arrow keys. There is a way to get rid of Picnic State, but it's not beneficial because we need Picnic State to run warp. Also, I missed. Also, this room was built for diagonal movement, but they didn't put diagonal movement in the game. Thanks, OMOCAT. Just gonna make our way to Humphrey. Which Humphrey is not too challenging in this run. He used to be really hard before we found Medusa Skip, because Medusa was one of the worst segments in the game. In my opinion, though. A lot of the game is building up your own knowledge through experience. Because there are a lot of situations that can happen that even I don't know about, that you playing the game might find and like, oh, this is a thing, I should watch out for it. They really just, like, getting better at this game comes with doing runs and practice and experiencing what this game can do to you in terms of RNG and messing up tricks. So we're gonna enter Mari. Not enter Mari, that is not what I meant. I meant enter Humphrey. Please do not enter Mari. So here we are in Humphrey. Yeah, exactly. Which will probably happen to other people. You just gotta... If you want to get good at this game, you're gonna just have to eat the, like, run ends in certain things, because this definitely is not an easy category. It's not an easy run to just pick up and do. There's so many hard tricks. So we're gonna go over to here. We are invisible. The only indication of where we are is when this stops, so we're right here on this tile. And also, oh, why is Aubrey here? Huh? Okay. So I guess if you can replicate this, you are one tile in front of where Aubrey is. Okay. Cool. Okay. So in this room, there is a picnic and a bubble. Let me show you what happens if you encounter the bubble while this picnic stuff is going on, and you get an encounter in a particular way. Oh no, I don't encounter, I need to run. So, it didn't happen this time. Let me try to get it to happen. Yeah. There's a certain way this can happen where if you get the encounter, your screen will have like the encounter like graphic will be stuck on your screen. And so what you want to do to avoid that is if you're close to the bubble, you want to make sure the text box gets into the battle before you close it. Because if that happens, you can just run and you won't have a messed up screen. But ideally, this guy just doesn't get in your way and you can just go past him. Yeah. And you want to get up here. And also, you can wait for that bubble to move because you won't lose time since you have to wait here anyway. And so now, we're going to be put 3 tiles under event 14 in this room, which is right here. So now we're out of bounds. We're going to walk this way. We're going to go up. We skipped the entirety of the first part of Medusa, and we're just going to go in here. So, yeah. Also, the position of these bubbles are random, and they could just be in your way. Keep in mind, you want to avoid them if you can. You want to wait a second here, and then continue moving so you don't get hit by any food. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you can just wait for the bubble. As long as you don't wait like a super long time, you're fine. Because you have a few seconds of text boxes. So we're gonna go down this path. And then do not, under any circumstance, go on this. Do not. If you do, you will soft lock. You will be stuck in a wall. You want to get on this boat in particular, because then you can just go back down here and go over here, you know? So this isn't part of the run. Don't worry about whatever that was. Don't do it, it loses time. And so now we're just gonna go to the right, and then you want to go to the left to get all these Humphreys down, because we have to build a bridge. So now, before we talk to any of these Humphreys, we have to talk to this one, so we can start collecting them. You can talk to this guy from right here. It doesn't save time, but it is funny. So we need to talk to all of these Humphreys. Yeah, just appreciating some air conditioning, you know. Nothing odd. So all in all, this trick, I believe it saves about a minute if you do it optimally. And so this cutscene is super long. Just gotta wait while we're holding turbo. Yeah. The save is 1 minute over the best possible Medusa. But if you consistently are unable to avoid lab encounters, it will save more time for you. Alternatively, if you don't want to do Medusa Skip, you can just do Medusa the normal way, but Medusa is pretty hard. You can easily lose like 40 seconds. So the next room we're going to go to is Molly, because if we went to a marina, we would have to tag back to OMORI for Molly's section, and that would lose about 2 seconds. So it is 2 seconds faster to do Molly first. Turbo was really bad right there for some reason. So it doesn't matter what order you do these puzzles in. You just gotta do them correctly and not explode. But if you do explode, it's fine. I'm pretty sure the game autosaves and just loads you back in. I think. I sure hope it does that. So the solution here is just this. It is 2, 4, 8, 6, I think. Yeah, 2, 4, 8, 6. And then I like to do this one next with the touchscreen. Like so. And then if you'd like to take this puzzle slower, if you're worried about mismenuing, it's all good, just do that. But you want to answer boom. Because any other answer will make you explode. Yeah. I really wish that off was more movement-based. It's just so much fun. I do this to get up to the first thing you need to enter, which is blue, green, red, right. White, not right. I always use numbers to describe the puzzles in awe. I've always done that. Then I just got muscle memory for the movement to answer them. And funnily enough, the reason why I have to re-practice doing that category is because I don't know the solutions to the puzzles off the top of my head. It just becomes muscle memory, and then have to relearn it completely. So easily Molly is the hardest section of Humphrey if you don't count the Medusa Skip setup. And it does take it's probably going to take some practice to get good at it. I definitely recommend practicing at least the marina part of this. And if you don't do Medusa Skip, definitely practice Medusa, because Medusa is harder than marina if you don't do Medusa Skip. So first we need to tag Aubrey. And then we're going to do something a little bit silly to save 1 second. Because this game is perfectly built. Just talk to this guy and, hey look, invisible bridge. And that saves 1 second because you skip an animation. So, in this room, right, there's a ton of enemies. Also, sorry I keep doing that. There are a ton of enemies. For this one, you want to bait him up here, like this way, until he gets close to you, so you can just movement down to here without him catching you. It's a bit tricky if you miss the stairs, because he will probably catch you. And then you just want to hit this. You want to go like this. If he is, like, if this guy is right here, you can just run up and go left, but, like, if he's up here, you can just do this. But if he's not, you want to bait him to the right or left. Like, sometimes he'll be mean and not go where you want him to, and you can just do this. Oh, that. So, this is the worst case scenario. If this guy comes down to the bridge, you're screwed. Like, there's not much you can do to get him out of the way. And also, he has a lot of speed. So he's hard to run away from. He can just be in a really unfortunate position and catch you. That took a lot of running away. So, avoiding this guy, because he'll usually be, like, up here. Like, let's reset the room, and I'll show you where he usually is. Or, like, how I avoid him for, like, average spot he goes to. I like just do this. For this guy, you can bait him over here and get past him. Just do this. So, if you want to be safe during Humphrey, you will pick up this whole chicken. And you will use the whole chicken with hero. Here, I'll just get this so that I can show the safer Humphrey strat. At least it should be safer, I think. I don't remember. It might not be safer, but it is the most usual way to do Humphrey strats. Here's another tag step. Missing this one, I think, is 25 seconds. It's just here and here. These two. If you move again or click Z, the cutscene will start, as you can see. So don't do that. Just move left once you get it. Also, if you want to try to get tag steps, like, if you're not good at doing attack steps really fast, try doing it by holding Z, because this way you can try to make sure that you don't accidentally step forward before you do the attack step. And yeah, so these guys, if they're at the bottom or top, you can just run past them. If they're in the middle, it's like they could sometimes catch you. Yeah, definitely just practice the marine split. Have a save for it. Get some drills of it in your head, because you can definitely lose quite a big chunk of time in this segment if you're not quite sure what you're doing, because you can just keep getting encounters. So up here is experiment 667. We can skip his trigger by just doing that. And we can go about this room in peace and solitude. Sometimes the spelling bee can be there. Don't talk to it, or you are losing a lot of time. Here's another attack step to skip the hot dog cutscene. It's just right here. You line up with this arch, right here, and you do one attack step up, and you can skip it. Missing that particular attack step, the hot dog one, loses about 15 seconds. And now that we've done all of the Humphrey fights, or the Humphrey sections, we can go do the boss battle. Which, as you can see, we are level 7, which is not a very good level. I will admit. So there are a few moves that slime girls can do. The worst one, without it being devastating, is if they do the release gas move, which gives everyone a random motion, because that has a very long animation, which is about 5 seconds time loss. The fastest animation is if they use the stinger. And if they kill Kel, it's fine, but it can be a problem. Because you want Kel to be level 16, and for Kel to be level 16, he has to survive the Slime Girls. And if he doesn't survive the Slime Girls, he will not reach level 16. Because level 16 will let him be faster than Sweetheart. Okay. So there's a few ways you can try out this fight. Let me see if I can actually save before the fight starts. I don't think I can. So yeah, there's a cutscene you can skip here if you've already done this fight on a previously... if you've done this fight previously on any save, or at any time during the game, you will be able to skip it. So for these guys, we're going to do target glitch. And the worst thing they can do is throw dynamite, because if they do, everyone dies. There's nothing you can do. So there are a few safe strats, though. The normal strat, if you're not worried about it, is to just Rotten Milk with Aubrey, Kel, and Omori, and then just attack with Hero. But if you want to be safe, you can guard with Hero, and he will survive Dynamite. And then on the next turn, you can try to... Omori will get a Rotten Milk off, and then on the next turn, you can try to Rotten Milk again. And ideally, they won't attack Omori again, and they will just attack Hero. And I'm pretty sure that at half HP, they'll switch your juice and stamina, so I think that Omori will get... Actually, yeah, I think Omori gets plot armor back. Doesn't he? Could quickly look this up to see what HP they do the thing. Because if they do the thing on turn, if they get milked and then they do the thing, do they switch your juice and HP? If they do, then you are set if you guard with Hero, because then you'll get plot armor back. There's a bug in earlier versions of the game where if Omori gets, like, if he gets plot armored, which is 1 HP, and then he gets healed before the end of the turn, he will have plot armor again. Let me just look real quick. Yeah, at 50% HP, they swap the party's heart and juice. So yeah, the most safe way to do this fight is actually guarding with Hero. Because if they throw Dynamite, Hero will live, and then you'll be able to use Rotten Milk with Omori again. Because, like, you need somebody else to be alive to be able to do Rotten Milk. Like, the reason that Hero can't do Rotten Milk and Target Glitch is because you can't, like, unselect the option you've already done with him. So yeah, if you want to be safe, just guard with Hero. Because even if they throw Dynamite, it'll be fine. And also, because Hero lived, we're good. He will be able to get to level 16. Which is very nice. After Humphrey, he will level 16. And here's another cutscene you can skip. And then this. We're gonna head over to Humphrey. You don't need to heal, because Humphrey will heal you before his fight. In Humphrey, there are a few strategies to do. I will show multiple of them. One of them is just whole chicken. So, first of all, you want to Rotten Milk with everybody. And if you get the whole chicken, you want a whole chicken with Hero. And ideally, on the next turn, like the next phase, he will either attack Omori, Aubrey, or... Oh, that's right. They will be at 1 juice. So then I guess the safe strat for Slime Girls is... Yeah, if you get a safe strat for Slime Girls, if you don't want to lose 50 seconds to dying, is just picking up a poetry book. Because then you can use the poetry book for skill swap instead of something else. Okay, so he didn't attack Omori. Aubrey and Hero actually have a small chance to survive if he attacks them. If Aubrey survives Slime Girls, they both have a pretty good chance of surviving this hit. Omori will always survive, Kel will never. And if nobody dies during this fight, before they can get a milk off, you will be able to beat this fight fairly quickly. Like, it'll be done on, like, right when phase 3 appears. If you don't get a 2-turn, then 3-turn loses, like, 7.5 seconds, ideally. But 4-turn loses, like, 15 or more. So, ideally, he either attacks Hero or Omori here. We don't want him to attack Hell, or he just doesn't attack at all. And so, we're gonna do this. So, he's actually faster than than everybody, so... A safe strat to do here is to charm with Hero to make sure he doesn't attack Kel. Because if that would have attacked Kel, Kel would have died. And then he wouldn't be dead in 3 turns, he would have been dead in 4. So that's the Rotten Milk option of that fight. There are also a few other options. One of them being is if you unequip Cook, Massage, and you won't have Charm yet. If you unequip those, you will get Fast Food at this right here. And so Fast Food can be used in this fight. On turn 1, you want to Rotten Milk with everybody. That's not what I wanted. You want to Rotten Milk with everybody. And then you're gonna guard with Hero, I believe. Guard with Hero on turn 1. Then, ideally nobody dies here, or he attacks Hero. Okay, that's fine. So, you want to look at your HP values. if Aubrey has taken a little bit of damage and she's level 13, and Omori is about at full health, you will want to heal Aubrey, because then you can have the chance that she will survive the hit. In this specific situation, we have damage on Omori, Aubrey, and Hero, so there's really not any good option here as far as it goes with fast food helping us. So what you would do in this specific situation is you would probably guard again, or you would just fast food on Hero, I believe. Yeah. I don't think he can survive the next hit though, regardless. Yeah, I don't think it actually matters. Oh, you would? But if Aubrey gets hit this turn, it wouldn't matter, right? Like if he... Oh. I guess it kind of makes sense to do it there. Okay, so don't need to charm here because he already took a hit. Okay, I see. So you would want to heal Aubrey. Another method, this is the method I do. I don't get the whole chicken, and I just use cook strats. I cook on Omori. That's the only thing I do. Because this will save a few seconds if you get 2 turns. There is a chance that he can just ruin your life by targeting Omori and doing enough damage to wipe all of his HP, which would be very unfortunate. So, like, if he attacks Omori here, we will heal him with Hero, as you can see, and he will get plot armor back. But as you can see, he attacked Kel, so because Kel died, we don't have the pace capability of getting a 2. Yeah. You also have to keep in mind that Humphrey, in this phase, either Aubrey or Kel will be, like, if Kel died during Slime Girls, Aubrey will be faster. And if he kills, like, for example, he killed Kel here, which isn't as bad as if he killed Aubrey, because if he killed Aubrey, Aubrey wouldn't have been able to get a milk off on him. So right now, he's at half of his full HP, because Aubrey got a milk off. If he killed Aubrey, he would not be at half HP right now, which would be worse for us. I guess it doesn't matter what Hero does here now, so I guess you would just guard. Like, cook and then cook Omori and then guard with Hero. Yeah, exactly. In which case you would just default to this strat anyways. Okay, so there's about a 55% chance of him attacking. So this is going to be a 3-turn. So, like, Omori will hit him anyway, regardless, so it's fine if we just attack with Aubrey. And that's a 3-turn, which isn't much slower than a 2-turn. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to do this fight. It's just that some are faster, and some are more consistent. Yeah, I believe so. It's also the slowest, though. I think the fastest is cook and guard, though, since you have to unequip stuff for fast food. Anyway, here you're just gonna spam because he dies in 1 hit. Also, crit. If you get a crit there, you lose, like, 1/4 of a second. Yeah. Yeah, I don't, like, cooking on Omori is, like, pretty good, because then Omori will, like, get plum armor back if he gets hit. And I guess if here, like, I guess then it doesn't matter what Hero's HP is, you can just guard. Yeah. Basically, the biggest RNG fights in this entire run are both Humphrey and Slime Girls, because Slime Girls can just kill you So your best option for slime girls, if you want to be safe, is forego 2 seconds by guarding with hero, and also having a poetry book, or any other item that you can use on an enemy, and then trade out to use rotten milk on an enemy. But really, the best option in terms of an item is getting the poetry book if you're going to do that. But it is slow by like several seconds. But it does guarantee that you won't lose 50 seconds if they use the dynamite, which is about a 10% chance. Just, there's a lot to keep track of in this game. A lot of minor stuff that would take a lot longer to explain. And also, the only reason we do Humphrey is because that's how we get W to spawn. And we want to go down this way. I like to use touchpad movement to get down here to head back to Last Resort. So this is the point of the run that if you messed up the picnic here earlier in the run, you will soft lock. Okay, so right now we are going to go into Ghost Party to get the O key. And there's a particular, you can do this blind. What I do is if you're losing load remover, which why wouldn't you be, you would, right when the timer stops, you would want to count 1 Mississippi, which is what I do, and then you tap left twice and hold down until you hear a water sound. Alternatively, you can just wait until the water, like, music starts a bit, wait as long as you want, and then make sure you don't, like, if you press left too long, you'll go 2 tiles instead of 1, which in that case you would just want to click right again and hold down. Alternatively, you can just completely hold left, wait a bit, press 1 tile right, and then hold down. So this is what you do. Wait for the water noise, and then you're gonna press right, and you should get up here in the dark. This saves, I believe it was 12 seconds, as opposed to just exiting and then re-entering the room. It honestly isn't that hard, and like 12 seconds is about the time you would lose if you got lost, like right here anyway. As long as you realize it and then do this. Like, this is what it looks like. If you hold right too long, you'll be like this. And then you'll be like, oh, I'm not hearing the noise. You can just... And then this. Yeah. So the biggest reason we didn't come here earlier is, one, you don't have arrow key movement, so doing this in the dark with touchscreen movement is even worse. And also, it would be slower because of the text boxes anyway. So now we got that. And we are going to head back around here. Don't worry about Last Resort. We don't need to do it. We skipped Last Resort. I forgot to mention that, but I guess it was kind of obvious. Okay, so right here is your last chance to go up here before the end of the run. You want to go up, leave, go up, leave again, and now, once you exit this room, your screen won't be completely white. If you didn't do that, after Fear of Drowning, your screen will be completely white and there's nothing you can do about it because Kel won't let you go back up. Anyways, so now, if you did Medusa Skip, you want to go to Firefly again. Because we need to get rid of the picnic there for good. And that will be apparent shortly. But if you didn't do Medusa Skip, you don't have to do this. So we're just going to come here and get rid of this. And now we're going to go back to the Pluto Station and go to Fast Forest. To set up another really hard trick. That is really hard. Go to Fast Forest. Now we're going to head to Kite Kid. Because Kite Kid is the only picnic in the game that has this specific ID that we're going to use in Sweetheart's Castle to completely skip the whole thing. Like, just completely. Well, most of it. We don't fight a single Cermax anymore. It's basically this game's version of Mad Dummy Skip. Because OMORI has striking amount of similarities to Undertale speedrunning. Okay. So for this trick, there's a couple of ways to go about it. The only things you need to set up for this is to cut this, this, and this. So this way you can make a path down to get the C key. So the easiest way for this is grabbing the C key. Assuming you didn't pick up the M key, which you don't want to do, you can get the C key and it'll put a hole right here. This hole will be 2 tiles closer on your way down here, which will make sense in a moment, and it is slightly easier. Alternatively, you can just do the C key, which I will be showing both methods. First, I will show the easier method, which is with the hole. Okay. So then we're going to go up here, and we're going to start this. So for this, our camera is locked. If you haven't noticed, our camera is locked during Otherworld Picnic and Firefly Picnic. So to unlock it, we have to fight Kite Kid. And just rotten milk him and he'll die. Not too hard. Actually, it's not hard at all. Just rotten milk him. And then you want to wait on this text box a bit. Like, what I do is I just wait for it to scroll, click Z, and then wait for it to scroll again. Because if you just get rid of it immediately, Kite Kid's after battle text will appear, and then you won't be able to get down here. So here's this method. Yeah. Oops. Don't hold turbo. Turbo bad. Turbo very bad. There's actually something I've been thinking about, which hasn't been experimented on yet, but this bunny should also unlock your camera. It's just the camera doesn't adjust immediately, so it might be harder than just using Kite Kid. But theoretically, if we can use this bunny, you can just run away, and it would be probably at least 10 seconds faster than Kite Kid, because you don't have to beat the fight. So that's probably something worth looking into, which I might do. Oh, by the way, you do not want to hold turbo into the Kite Kid. You want to leave Kel's text box up, because if you don't do that, that happens. And then you won't be able to finish this trick. Let's try this again. What? I forgot that I need to hold turbo. Excuse me, I'm not very focused. Okay, get the C key. So I can show how to do this. There's a couple different methods. I like to just spam the... Like, if I'm doing it without the C key, I like to just spam this. You want to hold turbo so you can get into that as fast as possible. Get the text box open and for the fight. And then just run them, as I said. Okay. We're gonna wait on this a bit. Yeah, so see, that was too early, which now we failed the trick, which is hard. And so the most consistent way to do this, and the way I've done it, it even is consistent for the C key, is I time my inputs. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when you're timing your inputs. Like, this one is also another trick that you want to relentlessly practice so you can get consistent at it. There's also a save station. You can just save and keep trying it until you get it. But if you want to get it first try, you definitely want to practice it. Yo, Woofled, thank you for the raid. We are making a tutorial video. So that's the method to do it that's the most consistent. You find your Z inputs, and then you can just take this. You now have this picnic stored, and you can take it to Sweetheart's Castle, which, as you'll see in a second, will allow us to skip all of Sweetheart's Castle. Most of it, because we have to go in to get the K key. Also, congrats on the PB, Woofled. Very poggers and based. So we're going to go back to Firefly Forest. And in this route, you don't have a cutscene to worry about here. But in another route, if you're doing that instead of this one, you will have a trigger here that you will have the tag step, and right here as well. But we don't do that route, so we don't have to worry about that. But we do have to worry about King Crawler. If you miss King Crawler, you will lose about 45 seconds, because you have to rotten milk him. So we do this, and then we do this one. And then this is the hardest tag step in the category. If you get it, you save 20 seconds. If you don't, you do not save 20 seconds. I didn't get it. It is very hard. So right there, you have to go up 5 times, and then you click on the chairs there, and you skip this cutscene, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. But I missed it, because skill issue. Like, here, let me show... Oh yeah, my tag menu's gone, I forgot. So, if you had the tag menu, you would just time your inputs to get up to here, and then go up to these chairs. And now it's time for the longest cutscene in the game. I think. I hate Rosa. Yeah. Like, the world record right now, the world record loses 30 seconds on all this, because world record misses Rosa Skip. It's definitely not easy. This is the last, like, major hard thing of the run. But this is near the end of the run. This is like 2/3 of the way done. And the rest of the run from here is way easier than everything else that we've done so far. The last 30 minutes of the run is just the last shore and Blackspace. So there isn't too much to talk about other than general movement to keep in mind for those splits. Because Blackspace does have a lot of movement. You won't lose a lot of time in Blackspace. Like, if your Blackspace is really bad, the most you'll lose is like 8 seconds or so. But you can easily get within like only losing 2 or 3 seconds to a gold in Blackspace, because it's just movement. A little bit of RNG with the basils getting in your way. Also, feel free to ask like comments and questions. Like if you have, like this is a YouTube video. If you have questions, just comment them. I can answer them. If you want to get more specific, in-depth analysis and like other opinions and insights, you can join the OMORI Speedrunning Discord. which I definitely recommend you do if you are seriously considering speedrunning this game. Which, if you're at this point in the video, you're probably, like, really wanting to speedrun this game. Yeah. Yeah, time loss adds up. Like, a bump here and there is like half a second, but it definitely adds up over the course of the run. That's why movement is quite an important part of this run. So here's the actual, like, big reveal of why this works. So the Kite Kid ID, the Kite Kid Picnic ID is 18. And event ID 18 in the dungeon is the spikes that block the path into the shortcut. And we get set 3 tiles under that. So you don't want to hold turbo here because it'll activate the loading zone. And you just want to go down here. You want to activate this switch right here because it's faster to do so. It won't soft lock you, but it is faster. So this is the event in question. Those spikes right there that you just saw, that's what we're going to put 3 tiles under. And it puts us in this little area where you get the little shortcut from the dungeon, and we can just... There we go. And now we're going to go up into the garden. You want to head this way. Hope that guy doesn't catch you. You want to activate this. And say no. Because there is a password here. Normally you would assume that we could just enter the password and get in. But actually we can't. We have to gather pieces of the password around the garden. So, yeah. Big thing to note here is we have to head up to get the K key. But you do not want to enter this room from down here again. Because if you enter this room from where we just came in again, you will be stuck in those sprout knoll crowd. Which is unfortunate. So, just keep that in mind. So, we're not going to do anything in the castle. We're never going to even see a Sir Maximus. We're just going to head over to grab the K key. And if you didn't get a tofu from the Take It Sprout Knolls, you will just want to pick up a tofu right here. Because we need a tofu to get one of the password pieces. Sit up here into the art gallery. Key. It's one of the last keys we need. We should only have 2 more, I believe. Yeah, 2 keys, the L key and the M key. So there's a little bit of movement you can do here. If you move 1 tile down after this transition, you can just walk past these sprout knolls, which I failed. But if you only go 1 tile down, you will be able to just hold right and walk right past those sprout knolls. So here we're going to just head back into the dungeon. There's a tag step right here. It only saves a few seconds. So if you don't want to worry about it, it's only a few seconds. I'm going to head up here. Open this. Head back down into here, and we're gonna do the garden. So garden is very hard to do optimally. It's not hard in general, but to do it optimally, you need to get basically every tag step first try and fast, so you can make sure you make every sprout knoll cycle, because they're walking on a cycle, and if you do it fast enough, you can make every cycle and not have to wait for basically any of these guys except for the last one. Like, even then, I had to do that twice. That might already make it so I can't get the, like, optimal garden. It's really hard to get an optimal garden. Harder than other routes. Like this guy, see how close he already was from just missing 1 tag step. If you miss it twice, you probably just can't. And even now, like, I missed that one, so it's possible that I won't make this cycle. And also, L. Yeah, I definitely won't make it a cycle. But there's actually 2 cycles to this guy. The one cycle where you can pass him while he's from the left, and then there's another cycle where he will move back to the left that if you don't make, you'll lose even more time. So either way, you might have to wait a lot for this guy. Yeah, see, I have to wait for him. I have to do this. And now this guy, you don't have to wait for him. You can just go here. You can talk to this guy. Gotta just collect all the pieces of the password. And then you go over here. There is something to mention with that horse. That horse's movement is so fast and random that he can actually end up in these small corridors and completely block your movement. So if that happens, it's really unfortunate. You just have to hope it doesn't. Okay, so important thing to note. If Kel isn't level 16, he will not be faster than Sweetheart, in which case I recommend healing if people are low. If they're not low, you're probably good to just go in here and enter the password, which is Sweet Jelly Filled Donut. It is 2, 2, 3, and then 1. That's how I memorize it. Then we go up here. And we head to Sweetheart. There's a cutscene skip here. So if Kel is level 16, you can just Rotten Milk with just OMORI and Kel, and you will win the fight no matter what. If Kel isn't level 16, I recommend just Rotten Milking with everybody. Like this. See, Kel's faster. Actually, Kel and Sweetheart have the exact same speed. So I think it's just that the party members get priority when it comes to that. And we have a really long cutscene right here. Just gotta mash through it. The run's pretty chill from here on out. Like, there's nothing else really big. There's a bit of RNG left and a movement, but that's it. At this point, you can pretty much relax because your run's pretty set in stone in what time you're gonna get. Unless you get really unlucky during dishes, because dishes have a 9% chance to break. If they can break. Like, if a dish makes sense to be able to break, it has a 9% chance to break. Hello, D Delta. We are almost wrapping up the tutorial, and I will upload it to YouTube so that people that are new to this game can maybe watch it and learn some stuff, like the basics of being able to do this speedrun. It is a harder route, though, so if they want to do an easier route, they would probably have to do some research and enter the OMORI speedrunning Discord. Okay, so, I think something's coming up for me IRL. Give me a second. I'll probably have to splice this recording. I'm getting called. I'm back. I unfortunately had to deal with something, so this is the rest of the run, but recorded offline in stream. Something came up. Nothing really much else to talk about the run, to be honest. It's really just general movement and such. It's really not like a what to do and what not to do. It's just a little bit of RNG, as I said, during dishes. It's a little bit of RNG black space, and mostly some black space movement. Here you just hold turbo. You head down until you have a bunch of trees. Sometimes it's hard to tell what floor you're on, so be wary of that. This is the floor we're looking for. Just gotta go get the L key. Like so. Then we just gotta let some cutscenes play out before we can get to the dishes. Each break is about 3 seconds of time loss. And there is also... oh, there's one. There's also a little bit of RNG after fear drowning, which we will get to eventually. Again, if there's anything you have questions about, you can join the OMORI Discord server. Specifically the OMORI Speedrunning Discord server, which can be accessed through the OMORI Speedrun boards on speedrun.com. And plenty of people there are willing to answer your questions and help you be able to learn the game. Because while this video covers most of the bases, there are some minute things, different, easier routes you could do that might need explaining. Stuff like that. So for this segment, we just need to hold down until we get to fear drowning. in this fight, I recommend that you just calm down as soon as possible. Just to make sure you don't forget to do so. And then you're just gonna attack for 2 turns, and you will get persist. Every time you use calm down, it will auto go back to attack. But this is not the same for focus and persist. So it will stay on persist and you can just turbo through it. That's the fight. Yes, like so. So, there's a 50-50 chance that Sunny will appear in the bed right here. And if that happens, you have to leave the room and come back in. Which, it's a varying amount of time loss depending on how fast you notice it. But it does lose some time to just having him not be in the bed. That's the last big RNG part of the run. Which, like, if it's really bad, you can lose like 10 seconds to RNG. And potentially even more, because I believe there is like 7 dishes that have the potential to break. So, like, the most time you could lose, theoretically, on this split is like 26-ish seconds, but that's extremely unlikely. Like, if you do get a break, you will usually only see 1 dish breaking. So we're going to make our way back to Deep Well. I like to use touchpad movement right here. Just go up here quickly. We're going to talk to Kel here. Keep in mind, because we haven't done Last Resort, there is fog all around. So we couldn't just go down to black space anyway. We have to go this way. You have to soar in with Pluto. Again, if we find a way to skip the chores, like, even if we find a way to skip just dishes, it would be a really monumental discovery. It would save another, like, over another 10 minutes, probably. Because then you wouldn't have the problem of the fog being everywhere. Because the fog only appears once you have done Fear Drowning. And so we would skip this cutscene and having to come all the way down here through the long way. And we would also skip dishes in its entirety, which would also save a lot of time. So yeah, it would just be a pretty cool time save all around. If we could find a way to skip at least one of the chores. But as it currently stands, we do not have a way to do so. Because if you do Humphrey before you go to the barn, then hero will make it so you won't have any of the dishes, and then you can't go to sleep and open the black space door or white space door because it's not there. And if you do the L key last, like if you don't ever wake up and you get the L key last in Hidden Library, it won't start this cutscene. And when you wake up, it'll be nighttime and the white space door will not be there. So if we can find a way to get the white space door to be there, we could then just pick up any random key, and that random key would start the black space cutscene. And so that would be really cool if we can find a way to do that. Because it would be really awesome if this game could get under 2 hours. But as it currently stands, the absolute best time for this run is probably like a 2:09. Anyway, this is what I was talking about. If you didn't do the thing where you go in and out of this room earlier in the run, this screen would have been completely white, and Kel doesn't let you go back up. Okay, so now we're gonna head over here, and this cutscene will now play. Now we just gotta Sword of Ash Forest and head to Black Space. It should also be noted that your tag menu is gone. You will not have a tag menu here, which is a bit unfortunate. If we did have it, we could skip these cutscenes right here, but we do not have the tag menu because the game is in a state where it wants us to go to Last Resort, and Last Resort will give us our tag menu back, but because we don't want to go to Last Resort, we're not going to do that. Either way, because, like, even if you could tag step these, it would only save 20 seconds. Going left down here saves 1 tile of movement. Also, it should be mentioned that when you're doing these fall down places, same on the Sweetheart stage, you want to stop holding turbo, or else it will ask you if you want to jump again, and you'll lose time. So the route I'm about to take in black space is the least amount of tiles. Like, I'm gonna go to the doors that will be the least amount of tiles to walk. And I will also show you there are certain rooms that are pretty self-explanatory, and there are some rooms where it's a bit tricky, such as the watermelon room, because you can hit a watermelon without going back onto the tile that the watermelon was at when it gets broken, and you can say like to like 1/5 of a second every time. Anyways, if basil is in your way heading up to this door, you just want to head to this door right here instead first, and then you'll come to this one later, but nothing was in our way, so we're going to go here first. So we're going to go up here, get this key, and then we're going to head right here and get caught by this guy. Then we're going to head to this door. And you want to head down. Then you're going to take a right here. And then you're going to go right under this thing and take another right. And there it is. Go 2 tiles down and get caught by this guy. Then we're going to head over to this one. This one, you just want to move 1 tile right and head all the way down. Grab the key. And you're going to head back up and get caught by this guy. Then we head to this door. And this is another rundown. He's right here, and I head to this guy. Right here. It's probably faster if you move left for that one, instead of right like I did. And here is the next door we go to. This just hold right for a while. There is a little bit of movement involved, such as when like a tree stump appears in your way, like this tree, you want to move down, and then there's this tree stump you also want to move down here. Then you want to go up and up again. Talk to something. Gotta grab the key. Then, I don't know if this is faster, but you can just press down here and then it'll start talking. And then you will get caught by this one right here. Now we're gonna move right. This one. There's only 3 doors left. This one and then 2 more. This is gonna be Muo. And what I do is I just talk this guy while holding down. And once I move down, I stab. Most consistent way to do that room. I'm going here. This will be the melon thing. Basil melon moment. Just want to head straight forward, up, down. And then actually, you don't have to move at all. It's just a timer ticking down before the screen fades out here. So you can just sit here staring at Basil. And once the stream fades out, you're going to be transported to the melon room. and you can do something like this. Gotta time it though, so you can move as soon as you touch the melon, which saves 0.2 every time you do it correctly. Because then you don't walk onto the tile the melon's on. And we go to this one. This is the last door before the red door appears. That's the fastest place to drop off in the water. And then we're gonna get caught by this guy. And that's Blackspace. Now the game is practically an auto-scroller for the last 7.5 minutes. Like, once you're done with Blackspace, the time you're gonna get is pretty much locked in. As long as you don't make any mistakes, which you really shouldn't. Once you enter the Blackspace door, you can just hold space and up, and it'll pretty much finish the game for you, except once you get to the sleepover room thing. So you can just like put phone, put something on the space bar, put something on the up arrow key, and just wait a little while. And just make sure you pay attention to when you get to the sleepover room, because then you have to change your movement a little bit. Line ends when you select stab. And that's OMORI 80%. Hope to see you doing runs soon if you made it this far into the video. Or if you just skipped this part, well, hello. Thank you for checking out the video. Sorry there's a splice in the middle of it. Stuff just happened. Well, that's about all I got. See ya.